Is it not? It's not. Oh, there it goes.
Hi, humans. Or do you
Hi,
feel
everybody.
Or do you feel like monkeys in a cage? Or are you taking full advantage of your situation now? Because you actually have the leg up in this whole situation, don't you? Sup, content creators?
Yeah. Hi. So Regina and we have somebody today with us. We're really good at this. We totally know how to do it. Yeah, Liz, you want to introduce yourself?
So I'm Liz. I run my own marketing business. I've been running my business now for probably 6 years or so. And I work from home already, unlike some people that have now switched to the home office life. And I also run like a few social media blogs online. So yeah, that's me kind of in a very brief nutshell.
Very, very brief. So can I fill in the gaps here?
Yeah,
or at least fill in some of the gaps.
Yeah.
So Liz lives here in New Zealand, as you can tell by her accent. Maybe, I don't know. I never heard Kiwi accent before I moved here. And yeah, so she's on the East Coast in Hawke's Bay, and so yeah, she's been running her company for a few years. She started out her social media kind of history started when she was just a wee dot at 13 years old. It's not that long ago because she's still quite young, but she's a pretty clever girl. And we met at a business networking event.
Yeah,
cool.
That's it. Yeah.
And there were a few other marketing people there, but we just kind of hit it off, and we were just chatting, and she's just really been really cool. And then we chatted after, and then we just kind of kept in touch.
Yeah.
So, and you're starting up am I allowed to say or no?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And Liz is starting up some marketing courses for some local people here because
I think that ideally, in the grand scheme of things, so many of us, like, there's just so much social media noise out there, and we actually don't know how to manage our social media. Like, I personally am still learning how to manage my social media, like, we're always going to be learning things. Like, the platforms are evolving and changing all the time, that, you just got to keep up to date. So I've set up a social media course, and it was actually supposed to be launching next week, but with COVID-19 I've put it on hold because I just thought, you know what, the world is in a different place right now. They don't really need something else to, like, get them on their toes. But in the meantime, I'm engaging with business owners to see what they sort of need help with in the interim for the course for next year. So yeah, that's me.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's a bit of a change from like running my own consulting company, but I've been going for a bit, and then ideally social media course will be where it's at.
Looking forward to it too. So I guess, hi Erica, how are you?
I'm good. I my world's not too different. I mean, I don't leave the house, and my daughter's home, but I didn't leave the house much before. I will say I miss coffee shops a lot. I love working at coffee shops. Like, that's one of my favorite places to go, and they're all closed. So, or like, you can order delivery or like pick up, but you can't like go sit there. So other than that, I'm good. I've just been painting.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
So
how about you?
Oh, me. Oh gosh. Well,
yeah,
I'm sick, so pardon me if I like blow my nose and make all sorts of weird noises. The medical center won't take me in because my symptoms aren't of the virus, which is, I guess, is good, because that means I'm probably still going to be alive in the next couple of days. But I mean, I didn't mean that by any means to like. Okay, let me just back up the bus. For any of you who are affected by the virus, I mean, we all are, but if you're directly affected by someone who has had the virus, or has the virus or anything has happened, like my heart goes out to you for sure.
Yeah.
I do feel really, really grateful that the hospital didn't take me for once, and I was kind of pissed off at first. But anyways, what else have I been doing? Just healing, and really grateful, like the other two of you ladies here, that we our lives really haven't changed that much.
No. You know, like, and I guess a lot of people will be struggling in that transition of working from home. And I know for a fact personally that I've had a few messages saying, I don't know how you work from home. And it's like, yeah, but you know, the transition like does take a while to readjust to. So yeah, hang in.
Sometimes even 6 years.
Yeah, hang in there if you're, you know, just starting the transition, you know. Like, I'm sure we all have like tips we can give out if needed.
Well, I was
moved from back to home. So yeah,
I was just thinking that would be really good if each of us can maybe give 2 tips on how to really transition easily, and then maybe one thing to think about kind of longer term, because some people who are watching this might want to do this full time. Maybe they don't. Maybe they want to transition back into their old life if they are working at home. So what do you think about that? You guys cool with that?
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Okay,
yeah.
Who wants to start?
I'll start. I'll give it a go. So I guess for me, one of the things is that, you know, you may be like working from home, but you've honestly got to set up a routine and just, you know, stick to it. So like if you have like lunch at 12 o'clock, have lunch at 12 o'clock, or if like, you know, get up, get dressed in like to some clothes, not staying in your pajamas is another key thing, I guess you'd say. And what would be another one? Another one would be like, just be aware of like who's around at home. You know, it is a challenging time, but you know, got to make everyone feel welcome. Yeah.
I mean, this whole situation does feel quite lonely, for sure, and that's part of the reason why Eric and I have always been able to catch up. And I talk to Liz every now and then about what we do, because this is the only way for us to connect. Just really quick, Miguel says, I agree with missing coffee shops. I better learn how to make a dark mocha with double shots of espresso ASAP. Hey, you know what my crack is? Matcha tea is my crack, because it's like espresso times like 3, but it's like slow release all day, and I can stick it in my
thing.
juice. All right, Erica.
Yeah, I agree. Tips. Let's see. Well, I agree with the like routines and like getting yourself ready. It makes a big difference, but I'll also say that I haven't been living by that.
You do get out of that routine, you know, like, and yeah.
Like I was really good about getting myself ready when we had to get my daughter off to school and then doing my day. And I have found myself like a couple times where I'm like wearing the same clothes for 2 days and I'm like, oh yeah, I should probably change. Like I should probably shower. But no, I mean, I think establishing routines can make a huge difference though. And they also help you like mentally be prepared for starting. Like if you always do this, and this before you get started to sit down to work, then when you sit down to work, your brain starts to associate those activities with like preparing to sit down. So in the transition of your life, maybe you worked a physical job and did this part-time, but now you're not working that job, or you're working from home or anything like that. You know, putting those routines in place can make a huge difference in that transition. I think the other thing is to be patient with yourself. Like recognize that life is different. You don't have to be 100% all the time. It's okay to, you know, process this whole thing differently depending on who you are and how you feel and your needs. And, you know, you don't have to be productive. If you're not using this to be super productive, that's okay too. And just be patient with yourself in the process. And like, if you're finding that you're not getting as much done, find the little things, like make a to-do list, put some stuff on paper that you're like, okay, these are my bare minimum things that I need done today. So I'm going to start there. So
Wake up. Check.
Wake up. Right. I know. Well, and the other thing is sometimes it's you have to start. Today I was struggling. I was walking around really unmotivated. You can ask my husband. I was literally like staring off to space. Like I was sitting there like, I need to go work, and then scrolled on Facebook, you know. And then when I finally decided to sit down and start, like I'm a painter. So I started and I painted something crappy, but then that kind of led into, oh, okay, now I can do something. And then I made something that was like really awesome, but I had to just start somewhere. So sometimes like it's just starting that can be really hard, but yep. What about you, Regina?
Yeah. I want to hop on the conversation of routines because like I do them so well and I break them so well. So like what was coming, what was going?
I just identify with that so much. Keep going.
Well, what was going through my mind, because like when Liz was saying that, I was like, yeah. And then Erica said, you said your piece. I'm like, yeah. And then I was just thinking, well, okay, so when we break our routines, I'm wondering if that's just our knowing and our body telling us we need to do something different for that time. Because I do find myself, and I think we've talked about this before, it's like you kind of go through these cycles, and I feel like my cycle is just a bit different than other people's. So I might be consistent over a period of time, but like in this period of time, I'm totally like seemingly inconsistent. So, because I find myself getting back on the horse and getting back into routines, and then I lose it. So I'm wondering if you guys have like any advice on, I guess, what to do at that time when you're like, okay, you know, Erica, you did say, well, don't just be easy on yourself.
Good question. Before we get into that, Miguel said, I had experiences with working from home, like 2 years, then had to venture out, then went back to working from home, and then ventured out again until COVID decided to mess that up. It really can be daunting to adjust.
Yeah.
So yes, totally can. And it's kind of crazy because we're in this place where like globally people have the same experience. Everybody's lives have been screwed up all over the world.
Hallelujah. You know how we feel. I don't think you ever really learn to adjust though, to be honest. It's always changing. What do you think?
No, I don't think that there's like, I think every single time you have to adjust differently. So I think that it's just something that continues, but it's just such an interesting and unique experience that we're all having right now, because like I'm having the same experiences that you are as far as like things are closed. And yes, they're different in regions, like every place is handling it differently, but as a whole, things are shifting, and that's really interesting. So,
I guess I should give my tips. What are my tips?
Yeah, give your tips, and then we'll get into setting routines when you don't want to.
Yeah, and it'd be cool if we could relate it to content as well. Okay, my tips: be easy on yourself. You already said that. Get into routine, and then don't get into routine. I just don't feel like you're alone, because there are a lot of us out there that can help you, or at least give you advice. So I think what would be helpful for us to be able to help you is to just ask the questions. And if we can't answer it, there might be someone else who might be able to answer the question, or ask more questions to help you bring the answer out. And if this is something that you really, really hate, then it's only temporary, but just know that like you are supported, and it's like, what can we do as a community to help each other?
I guess like a lot of people may be struggling with, like, say for example, they've got like a travel agency and they don't know what sort of content to post, or you know, they're a wellness practice that like usually works from an office, and they're like, oh well, we're closed our doors, you know, what are we going to post, you know? So just don't be afraid to like ask, you know, what to post. And it's even like that whole staying at home thing is a bit
totally. And on that note too, talking about content, this is the perfect time to not only catch your ideas, but to also start hashing them out and actually creating the content around how this, like how the situation now can be used to your advantage, especially if you're into wellness. And even if you're a travel agent, it's like, give people the tips that they need to hear, put it out there, let them know. There might be a lot of noise because everybody is going to start creating more content, but your immediate circle and your immediate audience can still hear what you have to say about what they require to know of what to do next.
Yeah.
I think also this is a good time to share old content. It's okay to repeat things. You know, we have a rock climbing gym here in town that closed. And every day he's posting old stories, or he's sharing things from their followers. So like their followers will post something climbing related, so he'll just share their content, or he's sharing behind the scenes of his gym, or, you know, those kinds of things. So bringing in old content, repeating things, and that kind of stuff, even if you have a physical location, can make a huge difference. But even if you don't have a physical location, you know, it can be a time that you can kind of bring stuff back.
Yeah, I was talking to a personal trainer, and he was just basically saying that he's lost all of his high-end clients. And his high-end clients are just the type of people who really want to be with him in person. So they're not really likely to do any online stuff. And so I was like, well, this is a really great opportunity, because he does post quite a bit. I said, well, this is a great opportunity to maybe perhaps think about a different demographic that will kind of chew on what you have for them, and that will pay whatever model he decides to do for his membership site or whatever. There are people out there who will listen to him, and he's got the credibility, which is an amazing thing. Lindsay, hey Lindsay. She says, oh, I still have to go to work, little time to create. What do we do in that situation? Just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, it's just keep trying to be consistent with whatever it is you're consistent. Like, consistency doesn't have to be daily. Consistency can be weekly or bi-weekly or whatever. So I don't know what kind of content you create, Lindsay, but
is she the girl that does the horror stories?
I don't remember.
Lindsay, are you the one that does the horror stories? I think so. Anyways, go ahead.
But yeah, like, you know, if it's blogging, you put out one post every other week, and that's okay, as long as you're consistent and you're continuing to post stuff. You know, whatever works for you, even if you're busy, you still have to work, things like that. Yeah, my brain just stopped.
Liz, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Because you're also, like, you've kind of taken a step back from your doing your membership site for your courses, and now you're nurturing your clients. What are a couple of things that you're doing with them now? Like, what types of advice are you giving them as just to help them move through this, or that you're thinking about giving to them?
I guess, like, for me personally, one of the things that I'm sort of initiating is that obviously some of these clients have been with me since I was quite young, and so I've sort of said to them, hey, we're going to get through this, you know, it is a transition to change. And so one of the things that we're looking at doing is how we can manage the whole content flow so that there is content going up there, and it's just coming up with those initiatives to, like, get the content out. And I've been throwing around so many ideas with this client about, like, what sort of content we're going to post. And obviously they're still trying to actually come to terms with the whole working from home scenario. Like, nobody's out there traveling. A lot of them are stuck. A lot of their clients are stuck elsewhere. You know, there's just so many things going on in their lives that I've said to them, how about we just put things on pause and then, you know, do it that way. But sometimes that just doesn't happen.
So it's almost like you're just taking them through emergency care at the moment until they're ready to just, like, get back into it. And I think it could, I mean, who knows when they will, or any of you will get back into some sort of flow. It might take a week, it might take 2 weeks, it might not happen until life comes back and we reemerge. So just be easy on yourself, really, is the best thing that you can do.
And another thing
So,
is like give yourself some time to actually process what is actually going on as well, because obviously, you know, the content, there's always going to be content out there, and I can't stress that you've got to keep up with content posting. Like try your best, even if you like schedule things out for like coming up with wacky ideas, and scheduling them out like over like a month is always ideal. You know, it's just but always give time for yourself, you know, because it is a change, like, you know, going from working in office to working from home, you know.
absolutely. Yeah. So that kind of brings us back to establishing routines, and kind of establishing them when you're not feeling, I don't know, motivated to. So yeah, do either of you guys have things that, or tips for that or whatever?
For routines, I think that what's really helped me to start my routines, what's really helped me is not only fill my cup up with caffeine. I think a few days before, or at least a week ahead, even a few hours, is I kind of visualize what I want to do for the week, the day or the week. And quite often I even walk through it as if I'm doing it already. Because then by the time that it happens and I'm like, oh, I've already kind of, you know, gone through this, it makes it a lot easier for me to step into it. And that's actually worked quite a lot. And I don't know why I don't do it every single day. But
gosh, I feel like that so many times with so many things. Like, oh, that works so well. Why don't I do this every single day?
Yeah, I guess that's the thing too is, and I guess one of the things, because I'm going to be starting a 6-week challenge for fitness and nutrition and accountability. I think accountability is the biggest thing as well for a lot of us. But yeah, visualizing things that I know that I need to get done. And I guess maybe even when we do break our routines, it's visualizing what we'll do when we break our routines and then what we'll do to get back to it.
Yeah. I think also knowing that when you break your routine, it's not like, oh, well, that's all out the window. It's just like, okay, continue. You just kind of pick up where you're at and go, okay, I'll just keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been in the process of scheduling or fixing, you know, shifting our routines because my daughter's home. My husband and I both were already working from home, so that's not any different. But it really shifts our day. And for us, like, this isn't super different. We homeschooled up until this school year. So we're kind of like jumping back into what we were doing prior. But this like shift of routines and like, how do we do the things that we need to each day? And I'm finding that having an idea of the stuff that you want to accomplish, but then like when you're actually in the day, when you're actually living it out, you know, allowing some room for flexibility in that. So it's like, oh, we're going to do this thing at 11:30, or, oh, we're going to eat at this time. But it's just there as a guide, as opposed to like, it doesn't always have to be spot on, or at least I find that I live a much happier life if I'm not trying to make it spot on.
What are your words on routine, Liz? And then I guess maybe we could probably wrap it up soon.
It's finding out what is actually working with the whole routine. So like if you find that you need to start your day at 10 o'clock so that you can get your own personal stuff done, you know, it's figuring out what is going to be effective to like make sure that you're actually processing and working effectively as well, because it's one thing to like scatter your day out and do work and personal, but it's another thing to actually achieve things. So you've just got to set those goals, set that to-do list, and, you know, stick to what could actually see working and what works effectively.
Yep. And learn from it. So pay attention to how long tasks are taking so you can better schedule your time. Pay attention to what is working in your day and what's not. Like, oh, I've scheduled this at this time every day, but every single day I've missed it this week. Maybe I need to put it at a different time. maybe I'm not allowing enough time in my day for the things that I need to. So what shifts do I need to make to how I schedule myself?
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Yeah. Even
Cool.
it even comes down to like just really quickly, like working out when and what times meetings are the best times. So like for me, I say, right, I accept meetings from like 10 o'clock onwards, and I only have set times for those meetings, whether it's 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and 11 o'clock, and then I have the afternoon to do work, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To establish that as well.
I think too, before there are a few times where I actually scheduled my breaks. I was like, okay, I gotta take a break at this time, and then not even think about work. And I think what really helped about that is that I'm not even thinking about work, so it actually gave me a mental break.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's not the easiest thing to do, because you might have a client call for an emergency, or something is going to come up. But for the most part, just getting back into it is probably, it helped me a lot for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. And getting outside whenever possible. Like, it's not always possible for, depending on your schedule, depending on where you're at, if you're allowed to get outside right now. But, if you can get outside, even if it's like sitting on your porch, just to like change your environment, to get some vitamin D, like help yourself. And that change of environment will also help you like disconnect a little bit.
Yeah. What can you do to make this fun? What can you do to take advantage of this? I wonder. Cool. Do you guys have any last words before we?
Just hang in there,
Yeah.
This isn't forever. Yeah.
Yeah. Just kind of go with it. And honestly, I just want to reiterate, like, be patient with yourself. It's okay if you're not being like super productive, or say you have to work a job from home and you're not finding time for content creation. It's okay. Like, just know that you can do, like, just keep working on it. Keep trying, keep pushing yourself. If all you can commit to is one blog post a month, then just do that. Like, it's okay. Just keep moving forward.
Yeah, everything they said. And if you have any questions, just let us know. We're here every week. We changed our time in New Zealand, it's Thursdays at 10 a.m., but that's still, for now. But that's still 5 p.m. Eastern in New York. So we usually go by Eastern time. So just for you guys to know.
On Wednesday. 5 p.m.
Yeah, Wednesday. New York. Thank you.
Yep. You're welcome.
I did an International Women's Day panel with 5 other ladies, and we're going to be doing another panel probably next week, talking about the same topic, of course, and just some tips. Awesome. So if you guys are around, then come find us. Otherwise, find Liz at
strictlysocial.co.nz or lizmarineness.co.nz. Yeah.
And so for those of you who are not in the UK, Australia, or New Zealand, .co.nz is just .co.nz. So, and
cool. Yeah, and we'll type it.
Yeah, we'll have it in. All right, guys. I hope you, let's see, there's no more messages. That's cool. Hope you guys have a fabulous isolation. And if you need a bit of a picker-upper, come message either one of us, any of us. And let's just do this together.
Yeah.
Cool. See you next week.
All right.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.